Hi everybody, Buffin here. Happy Martin Luther King Day. Everybody's doing Martin Luther King celebrations online today for the because of the pandemic. They're not having like the parades and stuff they usually have. They're having online versions of them. So I wanted to participate by doing something online myself and just saying something about Martin Luther King Day. And it's an extra special Martin Luther King Day today or it was one. It's nighttime now. But it was an extra special Martin Luther King Day today because it's the last one of the Trump era. We're getting rid of Trump. He's only going to be in office for 2 more days, tops, and after today. And because it's the 18th today, so we have the 19th and then halfway through the 20th to go. So not even 48 hours to go. But that's extra special because we're ending the Trump nightmare. And I don't want to get into all the details about how terrible Trump was, or even get into too many details about how great Martin Luther King was. I do want to mention Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech and the difference between a dream and a nightmare. In the I Have a Dream speech, Martin Luther King says that his dream is deeply rooted in the American dream. You can say it basically is the American dream, or it's the heart of the American dream. That's what deeply rooted kind of means. And the heart of the American dream is everybody can get along. All people are created equal. The reason it was a dream, and it's always been a dream, it's not like Martin Luther King was the first person to envision this. This has been part of America all along, at least as a dream, as an ideal. And at least for some people. You can't claim that everybody was always on board with this ideal, but some people always were, since the beginning and before the beginning of America. So Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech was a rephrasing of a dream that's been existing, but as a dream, and something that characterizes a dream is a dream can be realized. You wake up from a dream, typically, and sometimes want to get back to the dream within the dream by going back to sleep, by having more of the dream. But also dreams can be realized. And that's the big difference between a dream and a nightmare. A nightmare, no one wants to realize that. No one wants to go back to sleep and continue the nightmare. When you wake up from a nightmare, that's good. That's what we're doing now. We're waking up from this nightmare of Trump. And to that extent, he's represented really everything bad about America. So it's not like we're going to be over it all in 2 days once he's gone. But we're waking up from that nightmare. And that's important. We're getting back to the dream and getting back to building the dream. And the real difference that no one wants, well, some people seem to want a nightmare or are tricked into thinking they want a nightmare, so have supported a nightmare all along. They're missing out on the dream and they're holding us back from the dream. But we're going to get there. Like that's the ultimate difference between the two. Nightmares can't be realized. They just destroy themselves or everything around them or whatever. They can't actually happen. Things can obviously get worse, but it can't stay that way. Things getting worse, continuing to get worse, just everything dies or collapses or whatever. Things go terrible. And we've seen some examples of that, but I mean, it could have been or could be even worse, and we have to avoid that at all costs. We have to be going in the other direction. So for Martin Luther King Day today, I just wanted to have this message of a dream versus a nightmare. And the dream is something that we all are working towards, and we can realize, and we are realizing it in different stages along the way. But for instance, until Black Lives Matter's demands are met, that dream's not being realized. That's what the demands are all about. So it's not like Black Lives Matter was for President Biden over President Trump. We're hoping President Biden can do something to meet the demands. But the demands are going to stay and remain until we actually meet them, because that's the dream, that we don't have different classes of people. And of course, the goal of the nightmare is to maintain different classes of people. That's what Trump is all about. That's what evil is all about, is making sure that some people have control or power over other people, that some people can't be touched because they can do whatever they want to other people. It's just the most obviously wrong thing everybody knows, which is why I didn't want to get into too much of the details, but look at it just as the difference between a dream and a nightmare. And when we're waking up from a dream, you want to get back to it. You want to at least get back into the dreaming process, or you want to get to making that dream come true. Both of those are good things, in my opinion. The nightmare, it's the opposite. Some people are trying to get back into it because they've been duped into thinking that there's something good there. But there's not, and it can't continue, and it can't sustain itself. And it turns not only is it based upon those people being turned against everyone else, those people ultimately are going to be turned against each other as well. The people who believe in the Trump nightmare, because that's just how evil works. It always ends up turning against itself, which is one reason it can't ultimately survive. But you also have to stop it. So stopping it is living up to the dream, trying to make sure that these inequalities in this unjust system is corrected. And I'm very hopeful for that because we've also exposed more of the problems. Martin Luther King stands for all people, and Black Lives Matter stands for all people as well. It's the same justice that we need for everybody. And when people get caught up in some of the nuances of it, they miss out on the fact that, hey, if the police are overempowered, and especially if the police are infiltrated with white supremacists, which we've seen in the fallout from the Capitol insurrection, that a lot of these police were complicit, and a lot of the congressmen were complicit and conspiratorial in helping these people do this insurrection, taking them on tours of the Capitol beforehand, or in the moment, some of the police were, ushering them through more than trying to stop them. Were part of a conspiracy to let this happen. And, these are the same systems that are protecting police officers from the justice that anybody else would face. And this is why, and that's, that affects everybody. It affects people in every class and category. More so, it's a part of a racist system, so it does affect certain people more than others. But it's against everybody, especially people who are poor and don't have means. So this is where we can all come together against a bad system and bad things in the system, and correct the system and fulfill an American dream and fulfill Martin Luther King's dream, and avoid any more of these nightmares and fully come out of it and help the other people who are stuck in it out of the nightmare. So that's my message for Martin Luther King Day. I hope it did some good, and maybe leave some comments or whatever if you have any ideas about that or anything else to add. So thank you so much, and have a great day, and keep hoping and praying to the goddess for a peaceful transition of power as our democracy and the dream of America is based upon. So thank you.